Welcome to this Swims on Skyrock.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
What do you think of Paris?
I'm having the time of my life, man. We got a little hammer last night, but you know, nothing a little hair of the dog can't fix.
Every time I play your song on Skyrock, I say it's the song the world needs right now because it's healing.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's given me a lot of healing too, and it's done a lot for me, and it's doing a lot for me, and you know, emotionally and as my career goes as well. I'm really thrilled about it, and thank you for playing it at all, man. I'm just so honored. I appreciate that so much, man.
I want to know the backstory of the song, the behind the song. Tell me more about this song.
So you know, it all because of Julian Bunetta, Ammo, and Mickey Echo wrote this song with me, and Julian Bunetta has been a champion in my life, a mentor, a writer, a producer for me for so long. And since the beginning of my career, I think the first song I ever put out with Warner was a song called Broke, and I wrote with him, and he's just been with me the whole way through, and it has helped me make it. And I was kind of going through a really rough time with a person at the time I was dating, and we were just kind of in a bad way. I think the song itself is about, you know, just it felt like at one point the substance of our relationship kind of was the substances we were, you know, abusing at the time, and we were pretty heavy into a lifestyle that was not good for us. And I mean, it made the highs of our relationship super amazing. You know, all the big moments, the big nights out were just great, but the lows of our relationship were very bad. Lack of dopamine, serotonin, if you know what I mean. And I think the substances again just became the substance of our relationship, and we became codependent on those things and on each other, and very codependent, and started punishing each other for a lot of trauma. And I don't think anybody was bad in that relationship. I just think we weren't meant to be together. And you know, and when you're not with the right person, and it can pull some bad things out of both of you. And
Sure.
So I think you know, while we were in it, it was hard to find a way out. And now that we did, I can safely say we're both doing so great and healing and doing wonderful. And you know, you can love somebody so much, but sometimes you're just not meant to be with that person.
Yeah.
You know, and so that song is kind of that journey on getting out of that and moving forward and healing through that, and not being such a not as much of a, you know, addict anymore. You know what I mean? Recovering is what the word I'm looking for.
And before the success of this song, you do a lot of covers, and right now there are a lot of covers of this song. What do you think of that? How do you feel about that?
I think it's very, for me, it feels like justified, you know, justification on it, you know, because I feel like there's always a fear when you're making your own song. If you come from covers, that you feel like maybe you're going to get stuck in that, or people are going to be like, hey, just shut up and sing Shania Twain, fat boy. You know what I mean? And I was always scared that my songs were not gonna really reach that level, or worse, I kind of compared myself so much to a lot of the covers I did, because when you're doing covers, I think I sang some of the best songs that have ever been written, you know, and where they worked for me, they were still covers. And so when I went to writing my own songs, I was kind of terrified of like, what if like they're not ever going to be as good as these songs, and you know, maybe they aren't, maybe they are, I don't know, but the comparison game that you play in your brain is just such a negative thing, and it was toxic for me to a long time in my own self to be like, I'm never going to write I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt, you know what I mean? I'll never write a song like those, you know. And so I think that just comparison game you play in your brain when you're trying to compare yourself to your heroes. And instead, now when I look at it, I'm grateful that I had that foundation to launch off of, and also, you know, they didn't have themselves when they were growing up. You know what I mean? Stevie Wonder didn't have Stevie Wonder to listen to when he was growing up, right? You know, Elvis Presley didn't have Elvis Presley to listen to when he was growing up. So it's like there's so many artists that I'm grateful for, that I get to call inspirations, and instead of comparing myself to them, I try to give myself I get to use them as tools, you know, and learn through them. And that's something that they never had, was themselves to reference and get inspired by. So I'm grateful for it now, instead of beating comparisons on myself, you know.
And I really love your album. I enjoy listening to that. And you know, that sounds modern and back to basics too. That's important for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope so, man. You know, I was raised on good music, man.
Can you tell me about the artists who influenced you? I know Marvin Gaye influenced you, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, I mean, it comes all the way down from you know, I grew up growing up in Georgia. I think was a very beautiful thing. You know, I think it's just always been a melting pot. You know, we have the best country music to the best rock music to the best soul music to the best R&B music, the best hip hop music, all comes from there. You know, we have anywhere from Outkast to Otis Redding to Ray Charles to James Brown to you know, Thomas Rhett to Gladys Knight to, you know, and Usher to, you know, I mean, you got this T.I., you know, Gucci Mane. You know, the list just goes on and on of just amazing artists that have come out of there and all walks of life too. And I think I was just raised around good music and a good melting pot society like Georgia, Atlanta, where it was like everything was just kind of accepted and it was real standard there. Music was just kind of standard.
And I'd like to talk about the title of the album.
Yeah.
I've tried everything but therapy, part 1.
I think with this generation is kind of the first generation to really start discussing mental health openly and talking about it. And I think in generations past, I guess just in the entirety of society, it's always been like this thing where you had to be tough and you can't talk about your feelings, or you can't be vulnerable because that's weak, you know, or you can't go to therapy because if you got to shrink, you're crazy. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy. I don't need to go to therapy, or I know what's wrong with me. Don't tell me what's wrong with me, or I don't need anybody telling me that. And I think that's just such a negative connotation that I think we're finally breaking that down and getting able to start talking about it and being vulnerable and open. And I was always taught by my father, you know, and that to just like that, to think the vulnerability is strength, you know, being honest with people and telling people where you are. And I'm grateful that I get to do this job where I have an outlet that I get to just kind of trauma dump on strangers all the time, you know, and they tell me, oh, it's okay that you feel that way. I also feel that way, you know, and I feel very, very lucky and seen and heard. And I'm just very blessed that I get to do this job. And I hope that in that and with that album title and as honest and vulnerable as I'm being in this album, that it maybe starts the conversation. It starts within yourself, obviously, but with other people to start having that conversation about therapy and about doing the things and healing and taking the steps to get the help that you need. Because I think anywhere in your life, therapy is a good thing to start, you know, go to. I mean, even if you're in the greatest spot, if you're in the worst spot, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think anybody can benefit from it at any time. Just talking, just getting things out, saying, writing things down, just journaling, anything, just talking about your feelings is really good. And it's I think a real tough guy talks about his feelings. That's what I think. You know what I mean? A real man would.
Definitely. And music is a therapy too. And
yeah.
You're a singer, you're a songwriter, you also play instruments. Did you enjoy the whole process?
Oh yeah, I love it, man. I love it, of course. It's the best thing in the world, man. And it's just, you know, you just can't beat it, man. I couldn't be more fulfilled.
And in April, we're gonna see you on stage in Paris.
Yeah.
Yes, but since September, you've been on stage. What has it been like to be on stage?
I mean, I think it's so wonderful. Again, like it's such a beautiful thing too, because when you're writing these records, and I think also sometimes we get so caught up in this like the views or the plays or the kind of the analytics, the numbers of it, the whole thing, you know. And when you get to play these songs live and you get to meet people, we do a meet and greet before the show too, and I meet 100 people a day, you know, and it's so beautiful because you hear these like, instead of the numbers you see like this got this millions in streams or whatever, you know, when you meet the people, you start to see that like how much one of those streams is a real human being in a life, you know, that has been affected by what you said. And when I'm writing these songs, you know, I always just feel like it's so selfishly about me and what, like some little girl that broke my heart, you know what I mean? And now it's when I hear somebody come to me and say like, you know, you got me through my divorce, or like me and my wife got married to your song, or you know, my husband passed away and your song got me through that. And you start to realize that these songs that well, frankly, you're probably sick of playing already too, you know, like you might be already sick of the same song you've been singing, but when you start to sing it, it's like it's personally activating in someone's life, and it's about their memories and their relationships, and they have their own attachment to that song, and it kind of lets you take a step back and not be so attached to what you think that's about, you know. And I think it's really beautiful to see people singing along, and it's not mine anymore, you know. And it's a great place where I feel like I can always be on stage and just be honest and vulnerable and create a safe place for other people to hopefully feel that way as well. I like to say it all the time that when I'm on stage, it's kind of like my living room, and in my living room I like to walk around butt naked, and if you don't want to see me butt naked, don't come to my house, you know what I mean? I'm figuratively, of course, you know, but I like to say that about the stage, you know. I just take my shoes off and just, you know, welcome home, you know, and welcome everyone home, and it's just kind of, thanks for coming to my house.
I can't wait to see you on stage in April.
Man, yeah, I can't wait to hang.
And I really enjoy to talk to you.
Yeah, we're gonna have a drink or dine, you know, 9 or 10 or 11. We'll have the cheeky tequila.
Yeah, we're in Skyrock. I'll call all the place.
Yeah, come on, man, let's go. Bring all the boys, man.
Eddie, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
And right now, this is the live.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Let's go.